Tap the Oracle grid. I need some stuff out of storage. Give me everything from projects Pegasus, Exodus, and Goliath.
I was partners with Hank on a project called Goliath.
How big did you get?
My record, 21 feet. You?
65 feet.
65.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Ant-Man and the Wasp Easter eggs. Hopefully you've had a chance to see the movie. Obviously, spoiler warning if you have not. If you're finding me for the first time too, there's a new round of that Infinity War Blu-ray giveaway that I'll explain at the end of the video. A lot of great laughs in the film. Probably one of the literal biggest Easter eggs is Cassie Lang as Stature. Most of you probably detected how they were trying to foreshadow her becoming Stature eventually. She's practicing being a superhero with Scott when they're playing in that box fort at the beginning of the movie. Then at the end of the movie, Hope turns to her and straight up asks, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she says, I want to be a hero and help people like my dad. Just making your ears prick up a little bit because recently Kevin Feige said, oh yeah, we're definitely laying the seeds for a Young Avengers movie. Cassie Lang's Stature character was a member of that team. So everybody lay in your Avengers 4 conspiracy theories about flash forwards because supposedly a 16-year-old version of Cassie is going to appear during Avengers 4. She might be the Stature character when we see her again. But the funny thing too is that when they're having that conversation at the end of the movie and they're watching the movie on the iPhone, that's actually a moment directly out of the comics where Scott actually goes to visit his daughter who's at school. They watch a movie together on the iPhone by shrinking down. But the actual movie that they're watching is them, ! It's an old B movie about giant ants. When Goliath opens up the tin and the giant ants pop out, he says, it's them! ! That's just another reference to the movie that they were watching on the iPhone at the end of the movie. Baba Yaga got one of the biggest laughs in my theater, but that's an actual character that's appeared during Marvel's Captain Britain series. So it actually is a real thing. The Ghost character, also a big corporate saboteur character from Marvel Comics. Very different origin story from this version of the Ghost, but because it's a relatively minor character, I totally didn't mind. Sonny Burch is also something of an Iron Man villain who's crossed paths with him in the past. Even the corrupt FBI agent that was working for Sonny Burch in the movie was a comic book character named Jeffrey Ballard, who's also popped up during Black Goliath's comic book. If you're not a big comic book reader, the Goliath comic book character got his own solo title for a little while. It was called Black Goliath. No surprise, Randall Park's character was hilarious. Maybe someday he'll figure out close-up magic, but he's playing a comic book character. His name is James Woo. His first appearance was Yellow Claw #1. As you would assume, he's just a Coulson-type character that pops up and reacts to really crazy stuff that's going on. Lawrence Fishburne, of course, playing the Goliath character. We didn't get to see him, but they do talk about their adventures together. He debuted during Avengers number 32. Within the MCU, though, Goliath was a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like he says, he grew to 25 feet tall. He was just an alternate version of Giant Man who worked with the Avengers when Hank Pym was doing other stuff in the comics. So the other Easter egg here too is that they do a Lawrence Fishburne flashback, like they de-age everybody during the movie when they do flashbacks, but instead of using the face swapping technology that they use for Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer, they just had Lawrence Fishburne's son do his scenes. So when he goes to find the ghost 30 plus years ago and says, I think we can help you, please come with us, that's actually Lawrence Fishburne's son. They did the same thing during the Black Panther movie where you have the old version of T'Chaka in present day. The actor's real-life son played the younger version of T'Chaka when they did the 90s flashback to Oakland. Whole bunch of microverse, quantum realm Easter eggs. Some of these are pretty deep cuts. So when Scott gets kidnapped by Hope early in the movie, he's watching Animal House on the TV, but the scene that he's watching is of Donald Sutherland's character getting super high and talking about there are galaxies within atoms. So it's literally them referencing what is the quantum realm of the MCU within the Animal House movie. So obviously you probably know about Marvel's legal problems with using the term microverse. What happens is the reason why it's called the quantum realm and not the microverse, because there's a race of beings called the Micronauts that live down there, is because Marvel didn't actually call it the microverse in the comics until they did a comic book that was based on a toy line. They don't own the toy line, so when they lost the rights to that, they also lost the rights to using the Micronauts name and the microverse where they came from. But let it be known that when Janet Van Dyne is trying to explain sort of the mysteries of the quantum realm in a couple short sentences, she says she's survived there because the laws of physics are different, time moves differently, she's been changed, she's evolved fundamentally. There are other beings besides those giant tardigrades that live down there. We probably won't meet them until Ant-Man and the Wasp 3. Hopefully they'll just continue to explore this new universe that's down here in the quantum realm. It really is like a whole other universe of stuff that they could explore in however many movies they want to. Speaking of universe, obviously we're still dealing with the blowback from Infinity War. You probably detected the snapshot. Very poor timing on their part for that post-credits sequence because they were all turned to ash. But Janet Van Dyne did reference that Ghost was existing in multiple realities simultaneously because of her quantum state instability, but also there are time vortices within the quantum realm. You could get lost, accidentally time travel on a whim. So now Ant-Man is one of the most powerful Marvel characters. Maybe not the most powerful, but he just has access to things that the other characters don't. So he just became vastly more important to saving the universe in Avengers 4. Stanley's cameo was hilarious. It was pretty easy to spot. It was just during the car chase when they flew by his car and he thought that he was having a hallucination because he apparently did too many drugs during the 60s. Whoa, the 60s were fun, but now I'm paying for it. And even though I totally understood the Budweiser "What's Up," I actually hadn't seen that commercial in a long time, but that was a real commercial. If you watched a lot of TV during the 90s, you probably remember it. There was a really sly Lawrence Fishburne Matrix reference. When they interrupt him during his lecture at the university, he actually is trying to talk about alternate realities, but then just scribbles the word Matrix on the board before he runs out with them. I did a video a couple days ago about it because it was also a Captain Marvel Easter egg, but during Iron Man 2, Iron Man also references Project Goliath.
I need some stuff out of storage. Give me everything from projects Pegasus, Exodus, and Goliath.
I talked about it briefly earlier this week too, but Ghost's father in the MCU is actually Egghead from the comics. He was a classic Hank Pym, Janet Van Dyne, Ant-Man and the Wasp villain, but he also put together a number of evil teams and was also a member of the Masters of Evil. So like they say that he was trying to create this technology, the quantum tunnel, for another group that was either Hydra or like we say, Sonny Birch was working for other people that wouldn't take no for an answer. I did a video about that too, because it's like this whole big open-ended thing that they could turn into another big plot point in another Marvel movie. There were a lot of people that said that they could see Thanos at the end of the movie when the finger snap went down while Scott was collecting the quantum energy. All these colors exploded when he was collecting it that looked like the colors of the Infinity Gauntlet, but supposedly people are saying that they can see a cloud outline of Thanos' head in the background, just like someone working on the visual effects sort of layered him in a really subtle way. So if there were any other Easter eggs that you guys spotted that I didn't mention in the video, just write them below in the comments. I know we have all kinds of theories about how now, because of these twists, Scott is going to help out in Avengers 4. So we'll got plenty more Avengers 4 videos that I'll be posting soon. We'll get that Captain Marvel trailer, and Comic-Con is next week. I'll explain what's going on with my schedule next week in the next couple of days. They're finalizing all the panels, so I'll talk about all the trailers that are going to drop, but there is a new round of that Infinity War Blu-ray giveaway. All you have to do to enter that is be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. I'll name a new winner when I post new Marvel. Click here for my post-credits scene video, and click here to learn all about Nick Fury popping up during Spider-Man Far From Home. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.